Good everyone. This is Michael Roush with the National Disability Institute, and I'd like to welcome you to our first webinar to kick off the 2012 season. Before we get started, I would like to go over a couple of housekeeping tips, and then we'll get right into the content of the webinar today. So please note that in the right-hand side of your screen, we have closed captioning available for participants who are deaf or hard of hearing, or where English is a second language. You can choose or close this down if you don't want to see this by minimizing the multimedia window, or you can make the multimedia window with that closed captioning bigger by minimizing the windows above it. The presentation, when and if we leave the PowerPoint, we will be sure to share the applications on the presenter's desktop, and you will see closed captioning still on the right-hand side of the screen. If you are listening by phone and not logged into the webinar, you may ask questions by emailing them to me, Michael Roush, at mroush@ndi-inc.org. At the end of the webinar, we will open this up to questions, so you'll have a chance to ask questions at the end of today's presentation. Please note that the webinar is being recorded, and all materials will be placed on the National Disability Institute's website. So to get us started today, I would like to turn it over to Dr. Johnette Hartnett, who's the Director of Research and Strategic Partnerships for National Disability Institute, and the Director and Co-founder of the Real Economic Impact Tour.
Thank you, Michael, and welcome everybody. This is an honor to be on our 8th season call, and isn't it wonderful that we have moved to the webinar world. For many, many years we did our conference calls, and many of you know the challenges that we had. And this work we're very, very excited about. We have a lot of great new things to talk about today and about the 2012 season. And special thanks to all of our sponsors, Walmart, Bank of America, Corda Therapeutics, the Institute for Economic Empowerment, the Burton Blatt Institute, and of course our dear, dear partner, IRS. And I just want to spend a few minutes to welcome Richard Keeling. And Richard is a senior tax analyst with the Stakeholder Partnership Education Communication Division of IRS, and has been the really senior director of this program from the very beginning, one of the architects of the program. And it's just a great partnership, and welcome, Richard.
And I want to thank NDI too. I look back at the 7+ years that we've been working together, and just not the numbers in themselves, but I look at how far they've come, and this webinar and all the different, you'll see as go along, all the different tools that they have, their social media. I mean, they are a game as far as any of national partners that I've seen out there with the social media, and I don't even know all the things that they have. I'm familiar with Facebook and Twitter and their blogging, and there's Tumblr and Flickr. I don't really know what they are, but like I said, I mean, some of the things they do is just incredible. And we have weekly or biweekly calls with NDI, and it'll be interesting to see how this fiscal year 2020 shapes up for us. It's going to be a little bit different in that we are challenged with the budget. Our travel will be less, as NDI will probably not travel as much as same as last year either, and I'm sure they will be talking more about that. However, I think the service will be the same, if not better, the way that they have set themselves up for next year. And many of you will hear this, especially our internal people. You'll hear it on some of the internal calls that will be starting up in a few weeks with your areas, and our partners will certainly hear much of the same. and they would be much more aligned with our areas and everything else. But what I wanted to talk to you about just for a few minutes was some of our things that we're doing with a few key national partners in the DAY initiative and the Real Economic Impact Tour. First of all, Commissioner Rick Byrd, has announced that he will be leaving us soon at the end of the year for retirement, and he's been a huge proponent of working with people with disabilities and help in filing tax returns along with asset building and, of course, much of the hiring that we've done in wage and investment. And we're going to miss him, but we think that Buck Bugatti, who's coming behind him, will be to hopefully step in and not miss a beat in some of the things that we're doing. Mr. Byrd did make a few visits this year, and I just want to tell you briefly about them. Back in August, he went and he met the CEO of Easter Seals up in Chicago and spent a few hours with them. We had a memorandum of understanding with Easter Seals back in early spring. And so Mr. wanted to talk to them about how can we do to assist Easter Seals with some of their programs that they have, and also getting them involved with VITA and outreach and education, along with financial education and asset building. And a few days ago, Michael Roush and I actually had a call with Easter Seals, and we're conducting a webinar with them on some of these things that we have in place. And so asking both our internal and external parts to approach local Easter Seals if you already have not, and try and partner up with them, because, like I said, you'll be hearing from us along with Mr. Williams, their CEO, approximately 555 Easter Seals throughout the country, and not everyone will be able to be engaged that much. Some may be just able to do outreach, and you'll still ask them to do it. And as I like to say, not just go in for the big, and ask them to do it, because some are not positioned to do that because of their size. But and we consider them an important partner in the Economic Impact Tour. Another partner that Rick just visited, as a matter of fact, last week, was the ARC United States. If you're not familiar with the ARC United States, they're the largest organizations that serves people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. If you heard this, and I think I've shared some of this information with our internal people, we no longer use the R word describing their clientele. It's been from Congress even, and hopefully we'll see this starts with education, and our youth will start to see more, and we'll start to see less and less use of the terminology, and listen to some of the spokespeople that are out there. And one of the things we want to do, though, with the ARC is we found that they're engaged in about 25 of our spec cities throughout the United States, and we'd like to engage them more. Again, not just for doing VITA, although a few that have some really good success stories out there, but in getting them engaged in the coalition. In addition, the CEO of the United States has asked us if we could go into where the ARC is present. They have about 900 affiliates throughout the country, and if we could at least service many of the ARC employees. May or may not have a disability, but for the most part, a lot of them are going to meet the requirements for us to do tax returns. There are other things that are being done at the higher level, at spec level, with our executives and ARC and Easter Seals. They, too, Mr. Beebe, Mike Beebe, our spec directors, had some meetings along with Julia, the director of care. So, and of course, they're very they've been partners with us and with Jeanette and their crew at NDI, and that will continue since we don't have a change there. The last partner I just want to briefly talk about is the National Industries for the Blind. We, to the National Industries for the Blind, we've been partnering with them a few years now, with an MOU with them as well. And we did a pilot last year, and it wasn't as successful as we hoped. I sent a spreadsheet to many people in about 40 different cities, and we hope that we'll continue to try services for the blind and visually impaired. I will be sending some information out to our internal people by the end of this week on some of the places where we would like you to go and talk to them if possible, or just continue the relationship that you already have, and then report that back up to us in headquarters. To a little bit of change in the disability, for the most part, it won't be transparent to most of you. In case you haven't heard by now, the headquarters level has disbanded most of the team or some of the initiatives that we have, and they're just being worked at by headquarters level. However, we're not quite there yet, and so some people in the field will still be called upon to work with National Disability Institute, and to, of course, when Disability Institute is in your area or territory, we ask you to go out and work with them, since we're not able to travel as much either, and it would just be a little less burdensome for you guys to go and work on that and with our partners. The thing I want to say, and I know the NDI will touch upon this more, is that you may have seen that it's come out with an RP for some grants, and I'm sure we'll be talking about this in a little while, and I know this is something that many of you are interested in. And with that, I just want to say thank you to, like I said, all our internal and external partners, and we'll be in touch. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Richard, and all of your team in Atlanta, and to all of the IRS spec staff all over the country. For the many of you that are on the call, I think all of us on the NDI team feel we're like an honorary employees of IRS, and just really have found such a collaboration with you, and we'd not be doing this work without your support in the communities. And, I think just for those of you that might be new on the call, and you're saying, well, what is a real economic impact tour? And the purpose of this work is to build disability inclusive free tax assistance and financial education and other asset building opportunities for people with disabilities through trusted networks. And I think that our outcomes are looking at a growing awareness that disability is a key component of diversity. It's not something separate over there. And I think this movement has shown that by partnering with our community-based partners, many of you on the phone, you built inclusive practices that are now expanding the number of people with disabilities. And, just to give you a snapshot, when we started this work in 2004, our first year was 2005, there was about 6% of taxpayers accessing the free services. Today there's 14%. And that's because of your inclusive activities and practices that you were doing. There's a question that the study, I think I just saw the New America is going to be doing a webinar or a meeting, I guess, here in Washington on poverty, and 49 million Americans in poverty, almost 15.2%. And we know that disability is about 5 times more likely to be a person living in poverty. Those are pretty stunning statistics. I think that we have, looking at the number of partnerships, we're well over 800 between the asset building and disability communities. And as you're going to hear on this call, probably one of the first questions we got when we started this work, besides the question, what will happen if a person receives a tax return, an amount, and they're on some public benefit? Will it affect them? Will they lose their health care? The second most important question, what will happen if we advertise a site and we're not accessible, or we don't meet the ADA requirements? And all of that has been a part of our looking at the overall structure and activities over the past 7 years for the tour. If we go on to the next slide, Nakia. And I think this is just a snapshot of the impact, and this is your work. This is the work that the cities have done. And Richard and I were in the very first city, and it was the Bay Area United Way, 11 cities that year, 7,600 returns, and this last year 397. It's a growing number, and we're very proud of that. And we're proud because you have taken ownership of and embrace the diversity issue to the extent that you're bringing in more taxpayers with disabilities and helping them. So it's been extraordinarily powerful model. And this year, as Michael will share with you, there will be more disability organizations coming on board. And I think the first several years it has been building the need, the cause, and working with the key people that are doing the work on the ground to make it accessible and available to people of difference that haven't been part of the mainstream. I think some of the new partners and the strong partners that we've had that are going forward this year, My Free Taxes, which is a Walmart-funded initiative. We're going into our fourth year. United Way Worldwide, Laura Schurler and Lee Davenport from One Economy. We've been working to do a few things, but one of the most important things is begin to introduce the idea of self-tax preparation, assisted self-tax prep, and we have a van schedule that's I think is going to be starting early in January, and to really help people. We're finding younger people are accessing the free tax, wanting to learn how to do it themselves. And also over 98 or 100 cities are going to be involved this year with this initiative for the VITA and special outreach for food stamp and SNAP beneficiaries. And all of this, of course, is to build more disability inclusive practice. Our new sponsor this year is from the Institute for Economic Empowerment, and they're an arm of the NISH, which runs the One Ability program. There's over 44,000 people with significant disabilities that are part of this initiative. There's over 500 members around the country, and they're real social entrepreneurship models. Many of them are multi-million dollar models. They produce, I was just speaking with the CEO for one in Utica where they're making uniforms for I think it's the Army. So there's incredible work that's happening. They want their employees with significant disabilities to be a part of this network as well. So we're really excited with that. And then also the Southeast ADA, the Americans with Disability Act Center, is a partner this year, and several of you have been part of a pilot to help build more accessible practices and knowledge, and I'm going to let Michael address that in his presentation. So I think I'm going to stop there, and I'm just checking to see if there's anything else here. I think there's so much more I could say, but I think this is a good start, and I want to introduce Michael Rausch. I think many of you know Michael. He is the National Program Director. He's been an extraordinary leader in this work and is taking us into the 21st century in a great way, and has, along with Katie Metz and Caroline Burke from our team and Nakia Matthews, and has just been doing tremendous work. So welcome, Michael.
I appreciate that. So one thing that we would like to do is introduce you to the Real Economic Impact Tour staff. We are grateful for Jeanette and for Judy Tango and for Richard Keeling and Michael Morris for starting this movement and this conversation and getting this work done. It started with the NDI team as Jeanette, and now we have branched out to include additional staff members. So on the slide right now, I have a picture. It's from this year's meeting that was in Boston, Massachusetts. And I'd like to give a shout out to our partner Mimi in Boston for hosting a great meeting. And so left to right here, we have Katie Metz, who is a regional specialist for the Economic Impact Tour. We have Caroline Burke, who is in our DC office and is the program assistant to the Economic Impact Tour. We have Dr. Jeanette Hartnett, who is the director of the REI Tour and also based in Washington, D.C. And then the last person on this in the picture here is me, Michael Roush, and I am based in the Tampa Bay area in Florida. So Elizabeth Jennings, or excuse me, Katie Metz, is also based in Florida. We have other staff that work on the Economic Impact Tour, and we truly could not do our job without these two individuals. And so I definitely wanted to recognize them. Nakia Matthews is our media production and technology coordinator, and she answers probably 10 to 15 questions a day when it comes to technology for me. So I'm forever grateful for Nakia. And Nakia is really helping us take products, our tools, and to really create opportunities where we can bring them to a larger audience. So Nakia is operating the webinar for us today. She also works on our social media activities and has done various presentations for us and has also assisted our partners whenever they've started to implement social media strategies, and she's closely with our social media consultant on that. We also are fortunate that we have Elizabeth Jennings, who I say is the technical assistant to the Real Economic Impact Tour staff. Elizabeth has been with the National Disability Institute, I believe, for 5 years now, and she has a vast knowledge on public benefit programs, also on asset development strategies, and particularly looking at individual development accounts. And she has this sphere, spent a lot of work in looking at or working with IDA providers and working with them to increase outreach to the disability community. We're really fortunate to have Elizabeth's technical knowledge a part of our team. As we started the REI Tour, the focus was on VITA and the Earned Income Tax Credit, and that is still our anchor and a piece that we focus on heavily. But as I had transitioned in looking at their financial education and asset building model, many of our coalitions across the country started or implementing financial education, asset building strategies. And so we are expanding our knowledge, and our team has that knowledge to really assist the coalitions, each of you, as you start to expand. So that is the REI Tour team. We have several other folks who work behind the scenes and are truly an asset to the work that we are all doing. So today we're here to talk about the Real Economic Impact Tour, looking at 2012. This past year, our team went back and looked at evaluations from the past 2 years. We looked at feedback that we've received from the Mayor's Leadership Academy for the past 3 years. We also went back and we looked at the feedback that we received from the Asset Development Summits that we have hosted for the past 3 years as well. And so we began to really look at this feedback that we've received and to create a strategy that we could implement to really be able to address a lot of the needs that the community has shared. And so today we want to share with you new tools that we have, but then also to share with you some of the items that will be staying the same. So a couple of the items that will continue into the new year are the REI Tour Mini-Grants. The RFP went out yesterday, and if you did not receive a copy of it, I would like to ask that you contact Katie Metz at kmeti-inc.org. Since the beginning of the Real Economic Impact Tour, the National Disability Institute has given over $800,000 to coalitions across the country to help to expand reach to the disability community. This year we have a new structure to our REI, to the mini grant program. This priority will be given to disability organizations that are working with VITA coalitions. We encourage VITA coalitions to apply, as we do have funds allocated that to go to VITA coalitions as well. But we're looking at this new strategy based on feedback that we've received from the partners and from both the asset building side and the disability side, and looking at if funds were available for a disability organization, would that create an opportunity for them to take on more of a role with the VITA coalition. So the applications are out. The deadline for submissions are November 30th. It's a very simple application, so shouldn't take too long to complete it. We will make our grant announcements on December 9th to let everyone know who received it, and then also by December 15th, the funds will be distributed. So we're going to continue with the mini grant process. There's just going to be a few changes with it this year, and seeing this new approach with offering it to disability organizations that work with a VITA coalition. It's important to note that if a disability organization applies and they are not working with a VITA coalition, then they will not be eligible for the grant. So in your area, if you have a disability organization that is working with you, share the mini grant application with them for them to see if they are awarded a mini grant. Our technical assistance will continue as well. We have new pieces that we will be implementing that I'll share in just a minute. We're going to continue to go out into the field and do the REI Tour Workgroup meetings. And for those of you that are new, the Workgroup meetings provide an opportunity for us to come out and meet with disability partners, as well as our partners at the Internal Revenue Service, to educate them on the importance of free tax preparation, the earned income tax credit, as well as financial education and other asset building strategies. We will be doing 4 work group meetings this year. We will continue to do the Asset Development Summits. They've been extremely valuable to the work that we're doing. It sets an action plan for the community. It also allows both the disability community and the asset building community to really look at how they can work together. So that will be take place next year as well. We'll also continue to do the public benefits trainings in person as well. We're doing a limited number in person this year, where we bring trainers to you. We've had an overwhelming response to the public benefits trainings. In some ways, we had to turn people away. Some other areas, we tried to get extra rooms to do 2 trainings in one day. And so it's definitely something that we want to continue to be able to offer this information. I would like to share that we are cities based on the interest, as well as looking at some of the requests from our funders. So if you are interested in having a work group meeting in your area where an NDI staff person comes to you, please let us know. Also, if you're interested in doing an asset development summit, please let us know, and we can put that in the list as well. Last year, our team had traveled over 100,000 miles, and we've educated over 2,500 partners, individuals, and family members. And as we've looked at our strategy and looked at these tools and resources, and also look at these economic times, we wanted to expand our reach. And how can we do that? Unfortunately, our team likes to travel, but we couldn't be in all places due to time constraints, of course, and with dollars. So we are taking our tools and resources, and we are going to make them available virtually, and to really create this sense of community in other ways besides us going So you can access our virtual toolkit, and here is the link. This will also be emailed out to you all. We will be doing our start today. It's ready to go. Our REI Tour Listserv. Our partners have asked for that, so that is something that's created, and I'll talk more about that. We're also going to hold REI Tour Workgroup meetings virtually. We're also going to pilot virtual VITA in the state of Florida to look at how we can increase outreach statewide to the disability community using the virtual VITA model. And our training programs will be placed online as well, and I'll talk about each of these in more detail. So first of all, we wanted to create an opportunity where our partners could collaborate amongst their peers. Many of us have been fortunate to go to the various conferences this year, which allows us the opportunity to share best practices, to ask questions. But we go to those. So we wanted to create an opportunity where each of you can have an opportunity to share your best practices. Say you have a question on access and accommodations, or let's say you have a question, you want to see what other folks are using their promotional materials to reach out to disability individuals within the disability community. So the listserv will create that opportunity for you to do that. The listserv is exclusive to the REI Tour partners, and to subscribe to it, here is the link or the email address that you send it to. And once again, this all will be emailed out to you. Please note that if you would like to be added to it and you can't locate this address here, please send an email to either myself or Katie Metz, and we will be sure to get you signed up. You can also send it to Caroline Berg as well. So I mentioned earlier, we also are going to host REI Tour Workgroup meetings virtually, and we have our first virtual meeting in December in Louisiana. So thank you to Diane Denton with the IRS for allowing us this opportunity and to test this out. We are going to use the latest technology. We are using Blackboard, which is oftentimes used in the college setting or is used in the college setting. And we are going to host these meetings virtually. And so if individuals would like to host a meeting, please let us know, and we would be able to set this up. Basically, it will follow the exact same format as if we were there in person. We can also, we have the capability to use cams so that we can even see one another. It also allows us the opportunity to create action plans with everybody working on the same template all at once. So we're really excited about this opportunity. And if you are interested in hosting a meeting, please let us know, and we will be sure to add you to the list. People will be able to attend these in the comfort of their own office, or you could bring everybody together in one location and set up the equipment that way. So virtual tour meetings will take place this year. We're in the process of taking our public benefits course as well as our disability awareness training for VITA volunteers and putting it online so that partners across the country will be able to access this information. The first course will be the public benefits, and it will be start in the state of Florida because we got funds there, but we'll be able to access throughout the United States. And the first course will be available at the end of this year or 1st of January. We're working out the final details. More information on that will be coming on the listserv, so be sure to sign up on the listserv. We also have various educational and training opportunities that we want to be able to deliver, want to be able to share with each of you. We've heard from you. We appreciate the feedback and wanting webinar series and trainings and things like that. So we've put together a series for for the REI Tour in the upcoming year, and also some other trainings and strategies that you'll be able to utilize. So I'm going to turn it over to Katie Metz, and Katie is going to share with you some of our upcoming training opportunities with each of you. So Katie, I'll turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you. So my name, again, is Katie Metz. I'm regional specialist with the REI Economic Impact Tour, and one of the things we have coming up is our webinar series. Today was the kickoff for our this year coming up, but we have actually scheduled a number of webinar series over the course of the next year, planning to have a webinar the third Thursday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time of each month, with the exception of April. These webinars are free, and they're available to the VITA coalitions, our disability partners, and our asset building partners. They will be delivered by a team of experts on specific topics relevant to our work. We educate and engage you in a variety of topics through the webinar series, to include access and accommodations for VITA sites, public benefit programs. As Michael mentioned earlier, we had an overwhelming response to our public benefits, so we hope to bring that through a webinar series so we can reach an even larger audience. Engaging the disability community organizations, to its participation rates for VITA, self-tax prep, financial education, and IDAs. Practice series, which will be strategies that are making real economic impacts across the country. And specifically, our tax time primer, Top 10 Tips for 2012, led by our IRS partner, Don Dill, our next webinar coming up, and it's already scheduled for 15th, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. So please mark your calendars accordingly and look for an invitation to register to come out shortly. A calendar will be placed on our website under our toolkit, which we will discuss previously. And please check out our website in the near future to review the upcoming webinars and look for our email invitations as well to register for these webinars. Should you not or have issue getting any of this information, as Michael said previously, feel free to contact any of us on the team, specifically myself, and I will make sure that we get you on the invitation list. Of the tools I think that we mentioned previously that we will be working with is the TaxAccess project. This project is a collaborative effort of the DebTac, the Southeast ADA Center, a project of Burton Blatt Institute at Syracuse University, the National Disability Institute's Real Economic Impact Tour. It is a pilot project designed to develop a community started in 2011 to increase awareness and provide technical assistance for the volunteer income tax VITA programs in the southeastern portion of the United States. The TaxAccess community will focus on disability issues, including access to facilities, programs, and customer service. The project provides a forum for questions and answers via email communication to disability accessibility experts. A safe zone to access and accommodation questions and acquire helpful resources specific to tax coalitions. This website focuses on disability issues, including access to facilities, programs, and customer service. It's a great resource, and I encourage you all to go there. Even if you're not one of the pilot project members, you are welcome to go there and take a look at the website. Next slide, it's a screenshot of our TaxAccess website and gives you an idea of what it looks like. As you can see, it has a variety of publications and questions already asked and answered by our pilot project cities regarding TaxAccess. The site is designed to provide VITA workers resources to better serve people with disabilities who use the VITA services. We encourage you to visit the website for additional information which might be helpful in serving persons with disabilities. Also, please encourage your site coordinators and volunteers to access the website as a valuable resource and to check back with the website for updates and new resources continuously throughout the 2012 season. As you'll see on the right-hand corner under Quick Links, there's frequently asked questions, which you could click on and find additional information, questions that were asked. Many times we find that people were thinking the same questions but didn't necessarily know to go for the answers. There's also some publications and some resources there as well. Next up, we have disability awareness training, which is one of the tools that we're very excited about this year. As our team has traveled around the country visiting many of you over the past several years, a recurring theme seems to be a request for formalized disability training to assist coalitions in training VITA volunteers with regard to disability awareness and working with persons with disabilities. We're excited to develop this training and recently unveiled it at our pre-conference at our recent annual Mayor's Leadership Academy in September in Boston. The training will be available for download on our REI Tour Virtual Toolkit website. Coalitions will be encouraged to visit our site and download this PowerPoint, insert our information, and utilizing all or portions of the training to your advantage in training your VITA volunteers. Work with persons with disabilities, which will assist you in the practice of building inclusive communities. This includes topics such as people first language, tips for communication, and what is disability. There's a portion of this training geared towards training your site coordinators regarding basic questions surrounding site accessibility and fulfilling accommodations. Want the opportunity to download the training and review the different components, please feel free to contact me directly if you have any questions on how to do this. Here we have a disability awareness training video, which was, there's a link here, and it's created by our REI Tour City partner at the United Way of Buffalo and Erie County. It's a wonderful tool they've agreed to share with our network. This YouTube video will be posted on our website, and we can encourage you to visit the web pages and access this video or access this video directly through the link here provided. This video is a great training tool giving hands-on examples of tax preparers working one-on-one with persons with disabilities, showing both the wrong way and the right way for interaction through mini scenes such as asking the disability question. It's a wonderful tool, and we encourage you to determine if it's a resource that would be valuable for your training organization. They've given permission to post this video and encourage duplication and dissemination of the training to help promote inclusive communities, fostering positive interactions with persons with disabilities. So please utilize this resource at your leisure, and please just remember to give credit to our United Way Buffalo Erie partners with showcasing this video. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Michael Roush to give you some more information on additional education and training opportunities coming up.
Great. Thank you, Katie. And I would encourage you to check out the video that Katie had mentioned. The United Way of Buffalo and Erie County did a wonderful job on this video, and it is closed captioned. And it was shared with us right after the mayor's meeting. And this video is a wonderful complement to go along with the other training. Or if you only have 15 minutes, check out this video. They've really done a fabulous job on it, and we greatly appreciate them for allowing us to share it with all of you. One thing that will be emailed out to you, and you can get it on the website as well as Katie had mentioned. The thing about this video, why I think it's really great, is it talks about asking the disability question. And as we've gone around the country, we've heard from coalitions who have asked, how do you train your volunteers to ask the different disability questions? And they talk about that in the video as well. And I put a couple sites here just to be able to share with you. The asking the disability question on the two forms is important for many reasons. It provides demographic information in looking at who is being served by the VITA sites. It also expands the research efforts. It's also valuable information to be used with funders and potential funders. I know many of you probably applied for the VITA grants. You've contacted me and said you put this as one of your priority areas and population areas. And so it's another reason why asking this question is so important for the different funding requests, but then also to be able to share with the funders to let them know who is visiting the VITA. So as mentioned, we've heard different things from the field. Volunteers are afraid to ask the questions. They're afraid to offend someone. They don't know how to respond to a taxpayer if they ask them why they're asking. And some have been very honest in that they don't want to be bothered with the survey questions. And so we have the information on why the question is important. The two trainings, the training video and the disability awareness training, provides information on why it's important. Also inform volunteers on how this information is used and that it is confidential information. And of course, provide the awareness training to eliminate the myths and the stigma on working with persons with disabilities. So one you'll see on the REI Tour Listserv is with month in December. You have the opportunity to either one, download a script, or two, you would be able to order cards. They're free charge, small cards that have the script on it that you can place on every single VITA computer. So we hope that that tool will help partners or volunteers feel comfortable, and also they can show the script or show the reason why they ask these questions if they're uncomfortable to share with them. Our partners in Phoenix had worked with us on this idea, and we really appreciate it. And we hope that this tool will really help expand and look at the numbers for taxpayers with disabilities that utilize VITA services. So please look at that on the listserv as well. We also have created various effective strategy handouts for our partners. These can be accessed on our virtual toolkit website, which the link is here. And these are 1 to 2 page handouts that provide case studies. They provide best practices. They also provide tools that you can share with volunteers or also share with your partners. Here is a screenshot of examples of People First language. People First language is really important, and we want to make sure that individuals are using it. Earlier, Richard talked about the R word. We don't use that word. And so this provides the affirmative, the positive phrase, and then the negative phrase when referring to individuals. It's really important that we put the individual first before their disability. We do have some case studies that will be up there as well. So if you have ideas on effective strategies that you would like to highlight, please let us know, and we will be sure to do that. Each month, we will be updating the effective strategy area on our website with new handouts and best practices. And the next one coming up will be on the different financial coaching models and also on how to work with community work incentive coordinator within your area. And those are individuals that can answer benefits questions for individuals who are receiving SSI or SSDI and who are working. So that's another tool this year. So our final tool to share is 30-second trainings. Our friends at the National Disability Institute Consulting, Inc. have been doing this with the work that they have been doing with the Department of Labor. And the idea is to create 30-second trainings that are short, easy, and fun. They are not designed to be a test, but rather to increase knowledge. They should take only 30 seconds for an individual to review and can be viewed on any computer. And they are downloadable from NDI's website. The trainings will include national resources where individuals can get additional information. We have created some 30-second trainings on free filing options for tax preparation, VITA, SNAP, and WIC. And here's the link that you can look there. Before we show the 30-second training, because we're going to demonstrate one with you, one of the reasons why we created this is to provide you as a lead partner to be able to download this from our website and to be able to distribute it through your distribution channels. Let's say you're a VITA coalition and you would like to expand your outreach to disability organizations. So these are trainings that they could use to distribute to individuals they serve, to their coworkers, to be able to share and to access, but also it creates awareness and builds their knowledge on this topic. So, Nakia, can we pull up the 30-second training? Or is that the slide? Nope.
I'm going to do that right now. Michael, can you guys all see the welcome to a 30-second training slide?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so the 30-second trainings are PowerPoint shows, meaning once you click the file, it opens up into a PowerPoint presentation. This is the slide you see. These slides are animated and they also have sound. You guys won't be able to hear the sound today because we're presenting through WebEx. But when you open them on your computer, you will be able to hear the sound. So there are these little arrows here at the bottom right corner, and you click it to begin. You can see there's some animation there. Each 30-second training is really short. It's one question, and you see 4 responses here. And I'll just demonstrate a incorrect response and then a correct response. So click on an answer. The question is, what is the Earned Income Tax Credit? And let that pick. I think that the EITC is money received from your employer in exchange for work. You click answer. You'll see that you have answered the question wrong. You'll also hear like a buzzer or a boo sound or something like that for the wrong question. The user then can go back to the question sheet. I will pick the correct answer. And then you come to this slide here. And the animation isn't working, but a little thing will pop up that says you are correct. It gives you more information on the correct answer, and that's it. They're very short, like Michael said, only 30 seconds, and that is each 30-second training.
Great, thank you. And it what happens at the end when you get it correct is this big smiley face that comes out. And so please go to our website because we do have them up on the virtual REI Tour Toolkit, and check it out because they are fun to do. They only take 30 seconds to complete, and please feel free to distribute them as well. And the other thing to note is that on our website, they will be in the PowerPoint show that Nakia had shared, but then they will also be in the HTML format, so that those are also will be accessible for screen readers. So just wanted to be sure to share that with you as well. So to the end of our hour, and we've shared a lot of different tools and a lot of different resources, and looking at what we're doing and going into 2012. The REI Economic Impact Tour, the success of the REI Tour has been because of each of you and because of the countless hours and your dedication to this movement. And so as a lead partner, you are a member of a growing network. You have access to apply for the mini-grants. And you also have the opportunity to connect with other members in this field who are looking at economic empowerment strategies, not only for persons with disabilities, but all individuals. And you also have access to leaders in the field of economic empowerment, and you have access to the technical assistant liaisons at the National Disability Institute, where we are here to be able to assist you and provide guidance and direction on how you can expand your initiative. So we really encourage you to reach out to us. So, looking at a commitment on what does it mean to be a lead partner. So many of you on the call have been a lead partner and have done amazing work and have done each of these, and we greatly appreciate it. We urge you to increase outreach to persons with disabilities. We encourage you to provide the disability awareness training to VITA volunteers. We ask you also to support and train VITA volunteers on the importance of asking the disability question on the intake form, but also on in tax-wise. And also look at access and accommodations. And it's important to include the accommodation statement on materials. As we heard at our national conference this year, we hear this across the country, but this year it was it really stuck with me when I was in Hartford, Connecticut, and an individual with a disability said to me, "When I see that statement on anything, I know this event is open to me." And I think that that's really important that we include that. And then we hope that you will distribute our information and share our webinar series with your partners, with your coalition members, and encourage them to participate, to expand their knowledge and awareness on this topic as well. And commitment to each of you, in addition to providing you the tools and resources that you need, we are committed to providing the technical assistance that you need to help build your disability initiative. And technical assistance comes in a wide range of opportunities through our mini-grants, through our visits, through our REI Tour Workgroup meetings, our asset development summits. Our commitment also to you is to give you access to our partners across the country who are part of the Real Economic Impact Tour, so that you can share your best practices, so you can share your amazing tools that you are creating, but also to ask questions so you know that you're not alone in this, that others might have that question too and may have already found a solution that they can share with you. So with that, I am going to open it up to any questions that the attendees might have. You can type your question in the box in the lower right-hand corner.
Hi, Michael. A few people have sent questions via text during the course of the webinar, and I can give those to you to answer. Is that okay?
Yes, invite them amongst us. Yes. Okay.
First question was, how can we increase outreach to organizations funded by OSEP, Office of Special Education Programs? VITA really help the parents and youth transitioning out of the system.
That's an excellent question. Ed or Richard, do you want to start, or would you like
Sure.
me to start?
This is Ned. I think that's a fabulous question, and I think there's state special education organization and school systems. It's a market that we have not gone into, and it's a new partner for us to explore. And I absolutely agree with whoever asked the question. It's just a great idea to. And I don't know if many of the tax coalitions are. I know some are doing tax prep in schools, but not a lot. But we do have a very structured network that we could do reach to, and we will certainly look to that for 2012. It's a great question, a great suggestion.
Perfect. And actually, I would like to see Elizabeth. Could you offer some insight on that? Nakia, could you give her presenter rights?
Sure. 1 second. Okay, I'll unmute it.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I also really love this suggestion because it's a wonderful way for you to have reach to a very large community of individuals who would likely be eligible for the Earned Income Tax Credit and could benefit from some of the other supplemental information you provide at your tax sites. One of the great things about school districts is that they already have in place communication mechanisms to get your message out there. If you have a chance within each school district, there is a lead person for special education services, and those folks are a good resource for you to connect to talk to about some of the ways that they already plan on communicating with families that year, some of the publications they already have planned, and if it's a partnership that they would participate in so that they could take your message and send a message out to the parents. They're going to give you access to their listserv or to their addresses or anything of that nature, but they are an entity that you could work with to provide the content of the message and empower them to work with you to get the message out. Good thoughts.
Excellent. And whoever asked that question, please note that that will be one of our effective strategy handouts that we'll be putting together. So we'll be looking into that more. Elizabeth had mentioned about the system that's in place. There are coalitions that work with the school districts in distributing, the general VITA information. So we will definitely reach out to them as well and put that together. So that's a great one. Great, Elizabeth. Thank you, Jeanette. The next question.
This is a question from Lauren Pearson. You suggest that we have a representative from the Social Security at our various sites because of the benefits concerns.
That's a question as well. And also, Elizabeth, would you like to answer that one as well and share what they did in West Palm Beach on that?
The Social Security Administration in every area has a public affairs specialist, and while in some areas the individual's time is going to be different than other areas, they're the best point of contact to talk to about their time and what opportunities they could provide to come to your tax site. If you thought about a special event to engage the Social Security Administration in, whether it was, say, your Super Tax Day or some other opportunity you were providing specific to the disability community, or maybe even coming in during the time when you're training your volunteers, that's probably a good direction for them. The idea for the Social Security Administration to come multiple times to a tax site may be less realistic for them given their workload, but they do have public affairs specialists. Those folks are easier to access, and their mission is to provide information about the Social Security Administration and the impact of their rule on individuals, so they would be a great resource for you. And again, I think that's a wonderful idea and an easy connection to make.
Great. And I'd like to also that in some areas, the coalitions have partnered with the Work Incentive Planning Assistance Project, known as WIPA. And under the WIPA project are Community Work Incentive Coordinators. And I mentioned them earlier, and they are trained on Social Security benefits to be able to educate beneficiaries who are looking to go back to work or who are working and looking at utilizing various work incentives. So in some areas, the coalitions have created a relationship with the CWIC where the Community Work Incentive Coordinator, comes at a certain period at the site, or at the site they have flyers on the Community Work Incentive coordinators on how to reach their education events, and we'll also refer them there. On the listserv, we will put a handout, a link on how to locate the WIPA project in your community, and also some tips on how to build that relationship as an additional resource that you will be able to access on that topic. Okay, great. Are there questions?
Yes. Are there template formats available for outreach material to disability populations? I'd like to disseminate flyers and pamphlets catered to each VITA site for them to provide to their consumers.
That is also a great question. And so I think it's from Danielle. So Danielle and to others, this year we have promotional materials. They're still putting some final touches and reviewing some of the content. And our goal is to have them completed and ready for distribution by December 15th. I understand that it's a little late, but these handouts or flyers will be a format that you will be able to add your logo and add 2-1 or your numbers for people to call and ask questions. Our partners in Phoenix have a great flyer that has the various myths on it, eliminating those myths, and so they have allowed us to share that. So we will also be able to share that flyer with you as well. So those templates by mid-December will be available, and you can access those. We have a couple other tools that will be on our website. I think Annette created this one with IRS whenever the project first started, and on eliminating the myths. And it's a tool also that can be used to promote VITA. And so that's currently being updated and will be available by December 15th as well.
Another question. For the work group, is there a number of people that you would prefer to be present?
Or in person? Did it say?
It did not say.
Okay. So virtual work group meeting, we would like to, keep it at, 25 to 30. And, in person, because we do like to have the conversations, we've done meetings where we've had as many as 8 people there, and it was that quality conversation on looking at strategies that could be implemented. And we have had others where a work group meeting had 60 people at it. So we share with partners that we look at the 25 to 30 range, to have at the event. But virtually, we are going to stick to, we have to stick between 25 and 30, but in person, we have a little bit more flexibility.
Someone actually sent in just a comment. This is from Maureen Quinlan. Just a comment about recruiting volunteers with disabilities. The VITA program can be promoted as an on-the-job training program, a way for someone to gain new, possibly employable skills. The training is free, and the volunteer receives a certification from the IRS. We have not done this, but plan to.
That's great best practice to share.
Michael, this is Richard. One to add to that is I mentioned ARC United States, who works with intellectually and developmental disabilities. One VITA site, they actually had a person with Down syndrome who was a certified volunteer, but the person was a greeter at their VITA site, and some wonderful stories about how this individual did a great job of helping the people while they're waiting and everything else. So they don't always have to be a certified. I understand where Maureen's coming because it does help them in the future certain job skills. But people with this is a little more significant that can't become certified volunteer. They can certainly become a volunteer as well if they have a disability.
Great. Thank you, Richard.
Sure.
Another question, is a copy of the letter or the partnership page of the Regional ARC partnership available to help us connect locally with our local ARC?
Is this from external or internal?
Or Nolly asked the question. Nolly?
It's not in the mayor's office in Baltimore.
Okay. You can go to their website. They have a very nice interactive website, and click on your area and see what's there. I have in front of me if we had an actual relationship with them in the D.C. area, Baltimore area. But like I said, the website has all the different affiliates. And
I think the question was, is there a letter or a page from the partnership, the one that you have with the National ARC, that the local, like a local Baltimore, he could take to the ARC that he's going to do an introduction?
Oh, I follow you. There anything yet, but that's a good idea. It's something that we could put in place. It just require search from our director and Mr. Burns, the
Yes.
CEO.
It's a great
That's
idea.
an excellent idea, though. We could actually do with all our partners if that would be assistance.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jet, and thank you, Richard. Next question.
Those are options I have.
All right, great.
I have a quick question for you.
Uh-huh.
As far as the listserv, available to IRS employees as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because, the IRS and our gratitude for you all. I mean, you all have done so much, and so absolutely very important to this work. And so IRS employees will have access to it. They will just submit a request to go in. So I can send you the link, and you could send that out. Or if others are on here, they can access it, through the webinar. Great. Perfect. If there are no other questions, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for participating today and being on the call and listening to our new tools and our strategies. Please look for us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Flickr, and Tumblr, and you can catch all the latest happenings at each of those locations, or each of these social media outlets. I would like to say thank you to Katie Metz and Caroline Burke and to Nakia Matthews and Elizabeth Jennings for all of the work they have done to put these pieces together for today's webinar and the tools. And I would also like to say thank you so much to Dr. Hart, to Josh for all of the great work and for laying a foundation for this work and the movement. And so with that, I would like to turn it over to Annette to close this out.
Michael, and thank you, everybody. It's been a great call, and it's been a dream. It's really happening. I just want to give everybody a just heads up around the Deaf Tax Initiative, which we didn't talk about. The pilot that many of you have been involved in over the past 3 years has ended, but we will be providing procedures and assistance with the cities that are doing. Many of you have decided to work with your own local deaf organization, and we'll be providing some services there. We just got an okay with Gallaudet University here, and we will be taping the VITA Basic Certification in ASL at December, I think it's 21st and 22nd. Caroline is working with us on this, and so we're going to have actually 4 hours of the actual training in ASL that will be posted. It probably won't be edited and posted till the middle of January. A little bit late, but we've been waiting many years for this, for an affordable way to make sure that deaf tax preparers would have an opportunity to take the certification and become involved. So I just want to thank again Richard, IRS, all of you on the call, the NDI team, and I want to wish everybody a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.